Hello and welcome to a little show and tell on some of my favourite books on one of my favourite topics, colour. Colour is a thing that makes me want to paint, makes me want to share what I have inside my head on paper or on canvas or in textiles, and I adore it in all its forms. I still do love working in black and white alone, but I am most alive when I'm using colour in some way or another. And these are my favourite books that I have in the studio at the moment. This first book is by Joseph Albers. It is The Interaction of Colour and was recommended to me at college by one of my professors. Basically, it has been out since 1963, so it is as old as I am, but this particular copy isn't. And it's such an informative book. It shows you all about how colour works with other colour, how it interacts with other colours in the system. It's lots of reading about how things work together, but it's so interesting, especially with the colour plates that are in this particular volume. Shows you how they all work together. So an excellent book to have in your studio, as I have it in mine. The next book in my recommendation is the Collins Artist Colour Manual by Simon Jennings, who trained at the Royal College of Art in London and has been a visiting lecturer to many art schools. This book is absolutely beautiful, full of information, colours, pictures, artwork, photographs, and swatches of the main paint colours that they want you to have a look at or go through. It's practical, inspiring. It's got 4 different sections to the book. So the first one gives you information on paints and pigments, and then there's a buyer's guide to materials. Then there's a tour around the paint box, which is great, and it takes you to learn what colours are and how to use them to the best effect. And then you have creative ideas for colour usage with tips from practicing artists. And the final section is a reference to over 450 colours from the world's leading manufacturers. Literally just beautiful to sit down and read. I like to sit down on the sofa with this and curl up and just read through and take in all the information, how to combine colours, and literally it's just got everything in there that you would possibly need just to learn more about the things that we use every day and how to combine them and how different colours react with other colours. Such a fabulous book. We've got swatches at the back there that go through all the different colours, and I'm one of my absolute studio favourites. This is the one that I will reference when I want to look at metallic colours. They're beautiful. But yeah, I love this book so much and would highly recommend it to anybody, whether you are a beginner to making art or you are a well-established artist. There's always something that you can learn. You never stop learning as an artist, and definitely recommend this one. This next book I adore. It's Pantone Guide to Communicating with Colour by Latrice Eisman. I hope I'm saying that correctly, and I do apologise if I'm not. But this is a fabulous book. It is obviously based at designers and maybe advertisers, but I find it inspiring just as a colour artist to use this. Obviously it's dealing with the Pantone colours, but as I flick through this you'll see what I mean. So basically it's used by designers, as I said, to make the best colour choices for whatever it is that you are designing for, but also equally it's good for looking for a colour palette that you might want to use within your artwork. And so you have different advertisers, different things that you can use. So speaking colour here is one of the things, the basic colour terminology that you would use, colour wheel again, and how people feel colour in different ways. And obviously it's filled with beautiful artwork and photographs that you can take inspiration from. It goes through each of the colours as well and the different moods that you can get from each one. Just literally so much to look at. Colour combinations, which is a bit that I am superbly interested in this book. It's one of those things that I go to when I want to figure out a different palette. So here we have the Serene palette, looking at all the different colours that you can use. Earthy. It goes through every single mood that you could feel, that you could want to portray, and with each of the little squares gives you the Pantone colours that are used within this. So if you are a Procreate or Photoshop user, mainly Photoshop because that does deal with the Pantone colours, you can accurately replicate what you can see on the page in your artwork, and it's just such fun. Festive and fanciful, cool, warm, spicy and tangy. You can pick your colour palette to go with what you are trying to say, and this book never fails to give me some inspiration in one way or another. So again, well recommended. This book is a new one to me. I recently bought this a couple of months ago and have loved it. I have probably seen parts of it in the past, but it's first published in 1814. So it's a reproduction of a book that was published way back when. It's called Werner's Nomenclature of Colours. Again, I'm not sure whether it's Werner's or Werner's. I would say Werner's. And it is colour swatches and references from nature. But the thing I love about this book is all of the beautiful, beautiful plates and the illustrations in here, along with all the different colours that you can get from particular butterflies or crystals or minerals. And as I say, the pictures and the information is amazing. So it shows you displays of collectors' cabinets of birds and butterflies and eggs and flowers. And it is such a beautiful, beautiful book in its own right that it's one of those, again, that you'd like to curl up with and just read about and just linger over those beautiful pictures. I'd say it's a recent addition to my colour library. But a very welcome one, and I look forward to working more with this book. This index at the back is amazing. It tells you the colours, but also gives you a list of the companies that create colour. So you've got Winsor and Newton, and where you can get the colour from and what it's called and the pigments that they use. So a fabulous colour referencing system, and I love it. This book, The Secret Lives of Colour by Cassia St. Clair, has been described by Simon Garfield as a mind-expanding tour of the world without leaving your paint box. And that's very true. Cassia has gone into each and every beautiful colour. There's 75 fascinating stories about different colours. And again, it's one of those books that you want to take to bed and read to relax with, because again, lots of information about each colour. So acid yellow, Indian yellow, anything that takes your fancy. And it's one of those books you can dip in and out of and learn little about each time. And so for that reason, I definitely recommend this one as a good reading book to learn about the things that we use every day. This next book is called Colour, and it is by Victoria Finlay. As you can see, it's a well-used and well-travelled book that I've had for quite a few years, and it is still available, and I will link down into the description on all of these books as well as this one. This one is so fascinating. It is definitely a reading book and not a reference book. It's part travelogue and part history, and it kind of unlocks the history of all the colours and how they were traded and used, and such a fascinating read for each one. The amount of detail that Victoria's gone into this book is fabulous, and again, recommended. And finally, this book is the one that I hold the closest to my heart. It was recommended to me by a professor from my art college, and I sought it out and have kept it close ever since. It's Chroma by Derek Jarman. And Derek Jarman obviously is the producer and film producer and poet and many other things. This book is fascinating. It's very lyrical. It's draws a lot on poetical influences, and it's kind of like his musings on colour, but intertwined with his childhood and his career and reflections on his deteriorating health, because he obviously suffered with AIDS, and also more poignant for the fact that as he was writing this book, he was at the same time going blind. So my final recommendation is this beautiful book, Chroma by Derek Jarman. So here they all are again, my recommendations on colour reading books and reference books, and just fabulous additions to your library as an artist if you love colour as much as I do. Things to read, things to look at, and things to learn from, which is something that I'm all about, lifelong learning. And so if you have enjoyed this little look into my small amount of my book collection, I have got lots of books, can I say. So if you're interested in seeing more about my book collection and different things, then please pop me a line or message in the comments, and I will be happy to go through what books I have on subjects that you're interested in. Please give this a like and subscribe, and I will definitely see you very soon with another musing from my mind. Ta-ta for now.